What film role was 100% perfectly cast? Ian McKellen as Gandalf, LOTR. I remember early rumors of Sean Connery in the role. I'd be curious to look at that alternate reality, if that would have been true, or came to fruition. Hugo Weaving as Agent Smith in The Matrix. Mr. Anderson, I bet everyone read in Agent Smith's voice. J. K. Simmons as J. Jonah Jameson. Yeah, definitely. He was such the perfect choice, they got him to portray Jonah again in a completely different Spider-Man series. John Malkovich in Being John Malkovich. I didn't find him very convincing tbh. Robbie Coltrane as Rubeus Hagrid. J.K. Rowling really wanted Coltrane for Hagrid. She has said in interviews that when the books were being adapted, he had to be the first person they approached for the role. Christoph Waltz as Karl-Heinz Lander in Inglourious Basterds. And Leonardo DiCaprio was Tarantino's original choice as Hans Lander. It's always strange to see original casting decisions which seem, in retrospect, utterly bizarre and wrong. It's perhaps testament to Christoph Waltz that it's pretty much impossible to imagine anyone else in the part. But mostly I can't see Leo suddenly becoming fluent in French, German and Italian for the film. Definitely Anthony Hopkins as Hannibal. Anthony Hopkins as Mr. Ford in Westworld is great too. Anthony Hopkins is always a win. Edit, Dr. Ford. Charles Dance as Tywin Lannister had such a commanding presence. Especially in his first scene, where he is cleaning a stag that he had hunted. Christian Bale for American Psycho. Hey Paul. Johnny Depp as Jack Sparrow. Captain Jack Sparrow. Kathy Bates as Annie Wilkes in Misery. You're right, she's fantastic. I can never read the book again without picturing Kathy Bates. Patrick Stewart as Professor X. Robin Williams as the genie in Aladdin is one of the best cast film roles of all time. I was going to say Gilbert Gottfried as Iago. I'm half convinced that man is actually a parrot disguised as a human. Tom Hanks, Forrest Gump. Could have probably just said Tom Hanks. John Candy as Uncle Buck. Here's a quarter. Go downtown and have a rat gnaw that thing off your face. Rosamund Pike as Amy Dunn in Gone Girl. She perfectly embodied the Amy of the book and somehow added even more depth to the character. She was truly excellent and deserved the Oscar in that. Oh my god. Her acting gave me nightmares. Alan Rickman, Severus Snape. Harry Potter had some phenomenal casting. Along with Alan Rickman, Imelda Staunton as Umbridge and Kenneth Branagh as Gilderoy Lockhart were perfect choices. Javier Bardem in No Country for Old Men. Everyone in that movie tbh, and especially Kelly MacDonald. Her West Texas accent is spot on, and she's Scottish. Han Solo in Carbonite. Technically, you have the best answer. Chris Tucker as Ruby Rod from The Fifth Element. I heard they wanted Prince, but Chris was perfect. No one was ready for that. Aaron Paul as Jess Pinkman. Bitch. Michael J. Fox as Marty McFly, and of course, Christopher Lloyd as Doc Brown. It's amazing that they shot a significant part of the movie with a different actor, but when Fox became available they hired him, and reshot all of those scenes. Rowan Atkinson as Mr. Bean. Rowan Atkinson as Blackadder. Heath Ledger for Joker. I remember the outcry when he was cast. It was unimaginable that such a pretty boy could be the Joker. That was the role that taught me to shut my mouth and give people a chance. He obliterated all opposition. I still can't actually see any of Heath Ledger in that role. I only see the Joker. RDJ as Iron Man. Stanley himself said that RDJ is exactly how he imagined Iron Man to be. Very touching emo. I really liked Christian Bale in American Psycho. The empty intensity, the simmering hatred he was able to portray as Patrick Bateman could not have been pulled off by anyone else. Matthew Lillard as Shaggy. Val Kilmer as Doc Holliday in Tombstone. Always my go-to answer for these kinda questions. What an amazing performance. Dat role. I'd have to say Edward Norton as Jack and Brad Pitt as Tyler Durden in Fight Club. But that entire cast was solid. They embodied the characters flawlessly from the book. I was thinking of Edward Norton as Derek in American History X. He nailed that performance so well. Really weird in Monsters of Cock. Ah, I see that you are also a person of culture. Joaquin Phoenix in Walk the Line. A superb Johnny Cash. One of my all-time favorite movies. I mean, what film was 100% perfectly cast? Lord of the Rings. Despite all the things that pissed me off after Fellowship, they nailed the casting so well. Tilda Swinton as the Archangel Gabriel in Constantine. Let's not forget Peter Stormare as Satan. Sigourney Weaver as Ellen Ripley. Gloria's House. I know it's not a movie, but that casting is so good. I knew him from Blackadder before, and was amazed at how perfect he was as House. Edit. Here is his audition tape for those that have never seen it. The director didn't even realize who Laurie was British after he'd auditioned him. Al Pacino as Michael Corleone. The scene of him fighting with Kay about the kids is one of the most amazing pieces of acting I've ever seen. Rainn Wilson as Dwight Schrute. Fact, Rainn Wilson is the perfect wig. Ryan Reynolds Deadpool. What I love most about this is he was a fan. He played Deadpool in a terrible movie, stick to it, and forced the great movie to happen several years later. He himself made it happen. The success belongs to him. Full Metal Jacket. All roles were brilliantly cast, but Sergeant Hartman is the truest character in the film. Ali Ermey was a drill instructor in the Marine Corps and brought in only to advise, but he wanted the role. He put on a uniform and showed Kubrick how it should be and got the part over Tim Kalsari, who was already cast but moved to the door gunner's part. Ali Ermey nailed that role so hard no other actor will ever top his role as a drill instructor. Judy Garland as Dorothy. Jeff Goldblum as Ian Malcolm in Jurassic Park. On second thought, all of the actors in Jurassic Park, even Samuel L. Jackson, who is essentially playing a theme park administrator, made that part his own. Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. Could be a little shorter for comedic purposes. Everyone, Good Will Hunting. And also everyone in another 1997 Minnie Driver film, Grosse Point Blank. 1997 was a good year for her. Leonardo DiCaprio in The Wolf of Wall Street. The whole cast of The Shawshank Redemption. Special mention to Morgan Freeman. Made Morgan's voice iconic. I just watched this movie for the first time. I 100% agree. Phenomenal film. Val Kilmer as Jim Morrison. What's nuts is that Kilmer actually sang the songs in the movie. 100% nailed it. Michael Scarn, played by Michael Scott, the best protagonist in the whole film industry. Cumberbatch for Sherlock, if television counts. Faultless. Patrick Stewart as Jane Luck Pickett. Anyone other than Andre the Giant as Fezzik would be inconceivable. If only he could have played the mountain that rides. Lewis Black as Anger in Inside Out. He's literally the angriest man alive. Everyone in Inside Out is pretty great casting. Jim Carrey in Ace Ventura. Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi. I'm glad he'll be returning again. I mean, I came here to say Obi-Wan's casting in general, but yeah, McGregor was perfect, as we're on Star Wars. Leia, Han, Luke, Vader, Palpatine, Yoda, 3PO, Dooku, Chewie and Lando. Off the top of my head, feel free to add to that list. Internet, were perfectly cast, at least for me. Edit, Ninja, with added honesty. Hayden. Alright, the dialogue was pretty bad for some scenes, but Ross gives me chills, and he deserves credit for that. Thanks you Philitus and Adam Driver as Ren, who created one of my favorite characters. Thanks to you Batwing Scorpio. Arnold Schwarzenegger as the Terminator. John Leguizamo as the Pest. Denzel Washington as Alonzo. Daniel Day-Lewis as Daniel Plainview. There Will Be Blood. I really like Jamie Foxx as Django. Christoph Waltz was also really good. Keanu as Neo. Way better choice than Will Smith. Not that I have anything against him. Alan Rickman as Professor Snape. I know they botched the overall franchise, but I thought Henry Cavill was the perfect Superman. Leonardo DiCaprio as Arnie Grape in the movie What's Eating Gilbert Grape. Tom Hiddleston, Loki. Raul Julia and Angelica Huston as Gomez and Morticia. They were both perfect individually, but the way they played off of each other took it to another level. Bill Hader as the older Richie in it, Chapter 2. All of them were cast nicely, they all looked like they could be older versions of the kids. Fucking Ian McKellen as Gandalf. Harrison Ford as Han Solo or Tom Hardy as Bane.